Hello YouTube, Megumi Mary here, and today we are talking Logan. For the record, I may be the only YouTuber who isn't using Wolverine claws in the thumbnail. Not really relevant, I just thought I'd share, because literally every other person who covers this movie includes claws in the thumbnail for some reason. You know, themselves with the... Not important. What is important is what I think about this movie. I will be looking at this movie with as objective a point of view as I possibly can, which is why I waited a day or two to let it sink in a bit, because the movie's good. We'll just get that out of the way first. And it's definitely like the kind of movie you'll walk out of the theater being like, yeah, that was good. It's not flawless. There are problems. So let's just go over the basic plot. I will not be discussing in-depth plot details. For that, you can check out the card that just appeared on the screen to check out my spoiler corner version of this video that will be uploaded alongside. And that one, I will go into the plot and grade just the plot separately from the rest of the movie. This is an overall grading for the movie as a whole using a scale of 1 to 10. The other one will be just focused on the plot. And I will go into in-depth spoilers in that video. So if you don't want spoilers, if you want to watch the movie for yourself and be surprised, then don't watch it. So the first thing that you will... This is an R-rated movie, and the violence alone definitely earns that R rating, but my first nitpick is that they used, they dropped the F-bomb and the S-bomb quite a lot just to justify that R rating. And granted, I'm not one to talk because of a recent video I did, which just appeared as a card, but I don't think... It's distracting. It can be very distracting at times. But overall, it's good. There was also some forced... there was a forced nudity, which I felt like wasn't necessary. And they could have easily have gotten away with just not doing it at all. You can disagree or agree with me however you want. I just feel like it could have been avoided. The acting in this movie is top-notch. Hugh Jackman fires on all cylinders. And then we have Patrick Stewart reprising his role as Professor X. Probably one of the best performances I've seen from him in these X-Men movies. I love him as a mentor figure, but I get so sucked up into his character in this one that it very much immersed me in Professor X and not Patrick Stewart playing Professor X. So there's that. The child acting in this movie is a standout. It is brilliant how well the child actors work. Specifically, Laura / X23, whatever you want to call her. The actress they got to play her, she was amazing. She's very well. She carries the movie pretty well. And it's not easy for Hollywood to get these children to act. And there's a whole bunch of other children that are in this movie, and they're not as much, but their acting is also top-notch, and you forget you're watching a movie because of how genuine the acting is. The pacing is pretty good. First and third acts are standouts. The second act's really good. It didn't drag. There weren't moments where I'm like, oh, can we just move on with this? You know, it was quieter. It lets things sink in a bit, and I really appreciate that. And I feel like that really works. There are moments where they just let things sink in for a bit. There are moments when, you just feel the depth of what these characters have been through and how beaten down they are. And it's done really well through the pacing and the acting. Another nitpick would be the music. Granted, music these days isn't as standout as it used to be, but there are those certain themes you come to identify with certain characters. You know, like Captain America has like that patriotic theme you hear in his 3 movies. The Avengers have their theme. Iron Man has his theme. The X-Men have their own theme. Da, 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 you know, that theme. And, you know, I just a theme that you can kind of like hum in your head, but this movie doesn't really have that. It doesn't have something that stands out. Which is a shame because it's a good movie overall and I really liked it. It was a shame that that there wasn't good music that I could be humming in my head later on. And I just felt like they could have made that stronger. Other than that, the movie was pretty much good overall. Above average. Definitely the best Wolverine movie. And probably my favorite depiction of Logan to date, which I will get more into in the spoiler video. But yeah, this was just a really good movie overall. So, as far as what I would grade it, I would easily give this an 8 out of 10. The thing that's holding it back from being higher is, again, the music and the excessive use of language and that brief nudity that really feels like they just shoehorned it in just because they had an R rating, when the violence alone was more than enough to justify that. And about the violence real quick, it works. I'm not one who's overly fond of gore. In fact, I can't stand like bloody gore and messes, but it works with the tone and the message they're going for the movie, specifically the character Logan. And in that regard, the violence is kind of like another extension of the movie that helps push it up to a more artistic form. And so, it's not like they just wanted it to be really violent. The violence kind of showcases how emotional the things are for Wolverine. And again, I will get more into that in Spoiler Corner. So again, 8 out of 10. I recommend go watch it. Very good movie. And yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys over in the Spoiler Corner, if you want. Or you can wait until my Switch video comes out next week. Bye! Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe for more content. I have a second channel that's just going to be for my gameplay stuff, so I'm not overloading this channel with Let's Plays. And I have a Patreon, so if you want to support me via Patreon, you can do that, and you'll be able to see my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch as early as tomorrow evening. So, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.